If Sammy Turner was a classy, smooth soul star on the American tour, the Isley Brothers were totally different. They were incredible. They were three friendly, approachable brothers named Ronald, Rudolph, and O'Kelly, who went as Kelly, and they were one of the best live acts I'd ever seen. Maybe the best. The Isley Brothers were human dynamos on stage. Three slim, handsome young guys. They would line up in their shiny jackets, drainpipes, and bow ties and jive, shimmy, and gyrate. Ronald would do the splits while he was singing. They were in perpetual motion, and your wide eyes could not keep up with them. Wow, what will they do next? Ronald, Rudolph, Kelly would jerk, spin, and jitterbug at such a speed that you wondered how they didn't keel over. I mean, talk about having rhythm. They went down pretty well each night, but visually they topped us all. They were consummate showmen. I was only to find out later that the Isley Brothers had had a tragic history. With a fourth brother, Vernon, they had started out in the early 50s singing gospel in churches across America. When Vernon was knocked off his bike and killed when he was 13, the remaining siblings were heartbroken and stopped performing. They had restarted in 1957, with Ronald now their lead singer. They moved from their hometown of Cincinnati to New York, got a record deal, and switched from gospel to singing doo-wop and rock and roll. In 1959, they wrote their first song together, and it was their debut American hit. It was called Shout. Well, you know you make me want to shout. The Isley Brothers doing Shout was a highlight every single night of the biggest show of stars for 1960. Ronald would unleash this thunderbolt of a voice, and Rudolph and Kelly would sing perfect backing vocals and dance like demons. I was surprised that the three of them didn't leave scorch marks on the stage. There is footage on YouTube of the Isley Brothers singing Shout and dancing in 1960. Have a look. It will be the happiest 3 minutes you spend today. It's a sign of how well singles used to sell that Shout only got to number 47 in the US charts, but sold more than 1 million copies. 1 million copies, can you believe it? Today, some weeks you only need to sell 25,000 to get to number 1 in Britain. Huh. And people wonder why I don't like streaming services. The Isley Brothers version of Shout didn't chart in Britain. I can only assume that it didn't get the radio play it should have. It was, however, a huge hit for Lulu in 1964. I thought that Lulu's version was tremendous too. She has always been a soulful singer, and I love how she can belt songs out. I liked Shout a lot. You know what else I love about the Isley Brothers? They have a career like mine, in terms of longevity anyway. They've just rolled on and on and on. Over almost 70 years, they have sold 18 million records in America and have had hits in the Billboard Hot 100 in 6 different decades. I'm so proud of being the only artist to have had, in Britain, top 5 albums in 8 consecutive decades, so I know how the Isley Brothers must feel. These records are not easy to achieve. That's not the whole story. The Isley Brothers have also been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, got their own star on the Hollywood Rock Walk in Los Angeles, and received a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. Happily, the days of having to travel on segregated tour buses are a long way behind them and us. At the time of writing, Ronald is still there, at 82 with his younger brother Ernie, a mere stripling of 71. In fact, a quick glance at iTunes tells me that the Isley Brothers released a brand new album, Make Me Say It Again, Girl, late in 2022, with guest appearances by Beyoncé, Earth, Wind & Fire, and Snoop Dogg. Blimey, do you know what? I think I might even get that and see what it's like. Why? Because the only thing that's better than great old music is great new music.